As a Knocked Prone listener, you know I value interesting boss mechanics and fun encounters. Wouldn't you love to have pre-written encounters that are sure to entice your entire D&D table time and time again? Well, introducing drop-in boss battles and encounters. With 20 unique boss fights and encounters for levels 1 through 20, all packaged into this 144-page book, with unique stat blocks, mechanics, maps, and item rewards designed to reduce your prep time and amp up the excitement at your table. Each battle features interactable terrain, multiple phases, objectives, and special rules that'll make your encounters unforgettable. You can easily drop these battles into any campaign, one-shot, or session with hook suggestions. The battles come with specially designed maps for your virtual tabletop, making it a breeze to integrate into your game. The drop-in boss battles and encounters are explained thoroughly, ensuring your dungeon master can seamlessly convey them to your party in character. Find the link to drop-in boss battles and encounters in our episode description.
Dead Season is a mysterious podcast for D&D nerds, hosted by Knocked Prone.
Find more ways to support our show in the episode description. You are all standing on the edge of this volcanic forest clearing where the memory of Zell and his family have been frozen in time by this trauma that lives inside of Zell's head. The flames, though, still burn bright in this memory, and it seems like this would be a great place to rest your weary souls after a very long and strenuous adventuring day.
Setting the scene, you'll see Zell kind of sitting at a distance, watching like his own memory over by the fire, glancing over to Laria, just kind of longingly while
I suppose it would be a good time to set up for resting.
Oh yeah, I'm exhausted. I don't know about all y'all, but I think it's time we relax a bit. Talroth, you said something about how since I've been dead, since we've all been dead, we haven't needed to breathe, we haven't been needing to eat or anything. Do we need to sleep? I'm exhausted.
How familiar are you with the trance of the elves in the mortal realm?
Oh, I don't think I know much about that.
It is a resting of one's spirit and soul, more efficient than humans sleeping, other mortal races sleeping. This is how we rest here. A trance, a time to meditate and to bring inner peace to the soul before moving on.
All right, well, I love myself a good routine. If we're going to have a couple of hours down, actually, I have some ingredients, a little bit of cooking supplies. I would love to cook y'all up a little dish. I know we don't have to eat, but food still tastes good, right?
No, there's only one way to find out.
I don't think I've had a proper meal in I don't know how long.
How long have you been here?
Time here is a little odd. I could not give a definite amount.
I could use a rest as well. I have some repairs I need to do on my suit.
Fantastic. Well, I've been inspired by the spark hoppers, so I'm going to make us some fireball meatballs, one of my specialties. So don't mind me. I'm just going to be cooking it all up over here by this fire. Actually, so we're in Zell's memory and it's frozen, right?
Yeah.
So if I were to walk up to the fire...
It's hot.
Is it warm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it just
frozen,
like...
but is it still emitting heat?
It's frozen, emitting heat.
Yes.
So yes, you could use
Coolest
it for
fire
cooking
ever.
purposes.
Infrared almost.
Yeah.
It's like a freaking microwave.
So you pull your hot pockets out of it.
Totinos.
So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just cooking up some meatballs.
For the viewers at home, can you remind me what the mechanics behind your cooking dishes are?
Yes, since this is my first time cooking, let me explain a little bit about it. So my special dishes are considered culinary masterpieces, and that's what gives them their special powers as opposed to regular food that a character may make. They all have differing benefits to them. So the fireball meatballs, for example, will give a boost to constitution, gets rid of 1 level of soul splitting if we do it before a long rest, as well as if we want to ever save some of the food. I do make 4 servings, which perfectly feeds us, but if we ever save food, it has lessened abilities when it's cold, so it still can have benefits as a cold dish as well. And it differs for every single dish, so I'll just have to explain it as we go and everything.
You said it replaces a soul splitting level. It's an additional soul splitting level on top of
a long rest.
Yes.
Yes.
So you could get a maximum of 2 if you do a long rest and have a culinary masterpiece during that time. Just wanted to clarify.
Yes.
I appreciate you maintaining an optimistic demeanor after such a hard battle.
Of course. It seems like it was mighty stressful for you. Let me know if I can do anything for you, okay?
Oh, yes, you're already carrying the weight quite well, and it is inspiring. Thank you.
Thanks.
And Zelbrath will kind of almost drifting from the conversation like unnaturally as his eyes like land back on like Ilaria in the background and just almost into like a little bit of a daze.
Javi is going to take a few steps away from the fire. Question. So we're all reborn, but we still appear as we did in life, right?
Yeah.
Like we're not like different sizes or anything?
No.
Okay. Javi will take a few steps away from the fire, and you will see him actually doff his suit. And you'll see like some of the mechanisms and the gears, mechanisms and gears like separate and cogs turning, and he'll be able to hop out the top, and you'll see that he's only like 3 feet tall, hunched back, super tiny.
Is there any indication of that before you hop out?
All you guys have seen is his head. He was a gnome, and a small old gnome who has shrunk considerably from his prime. With all the hair and everything, and you'll see just like aged and weathered. You'll see him just start, he'll have Finn pop off and just kind of jump around, and they'll start tinkering on the suit and start working to repair some of the lost armor class that he had.
Yeah, wonderful. And
he's just going to get lost in his work and just be humming away and singing and oblivious to the world as he does it.
Talroth, if it's okay with Brooke, would approach while you were cooking, just watch you, maybe a bit unsettlingly for a little while, before almost passively commenting, just, it's astounding. You have such a connection and anchor in life that you have brought part of its realm here.
I feel very fortunate I'm still able to cook after I was dead. I'm not really sure what I expected I would do with that after I died, but I'm really glad I had my tools on me, I guess, when I passed, because I think I'd feel a little aimless right now. I'm a big believer that food boosts people's spirits. Pun intended.
I do not know what it will do for literal spirits, but I think that it is a good gesture. And I'll look up at both of our traveling companions. You are all insane. I don't think that I have ever led a person through their experience with quite so much intrigue as this. May I ask you a personal question?
Absolutely.
Your attachments, your children, food, cooking, and other such desires, do they not make you sad here to know what you have lost?
I try not to think about it that way. These are all things that brought me joy in life, so I don't really want them to work against me at this point. They brought me all of my joy in life, and now that I realize things are never going to go back to the way they were before, I would rather grasp tightly to those things that made me happy than allow myself to resent them.
That is an interesting perspective. One not many who visit here share. And I'll kind of motion over towards Zell. You're watching your wife. The Queen has always taught that attachment brings sorrow. Holding on to something means letting go of it eventually. He'll be fine. Most spirits are. This is part of the thing that he needs from the memory. You seem to have found a lifestyle completely contradictory to my own. But you seem happy, despite what my practices might say. I will be watching.
We'll see if I can stay that way.
It is not unwelcome. You've never seen Talroth necessarily smile, but you'll see the edge of his lips kind of like go up just a little bit towards you, and before he gives you a bow, and then we'll walk over and sit on his own watching Zell.
As you start watching Zell, and Zell, you're zoning out. Actually, I'll come back to that in a minute. Javi, go ahead and make me an Arcana check as you are fixing up your suit.
22.
With a 22, you are able to expertly craft your armor. Your armor is going to go up by an extra point for the day.
Yes.
I know you're taking a different infusion during this long rest, so you'll have 20 instead of 19 with the successful Arcana roll.
Handy.
Yes.
As you are screwing things in and tightening plates and fastening and suctioning dents out of your armor, you notice that little spider Finn seems to slow down, and then he crawls on top of your shoulder and tugs on your hair a few times.
Javi will stop what he's doing and just take a look over at him and say, "Say that again, boy."
Out in his arms, he will present a tiny, chef's hat made out of artificial kelp that used to be in Puddle's fishbowl. And he'll go and put it on its head and look over at Chai.
I also have been wanting to eat the octopus. We're just finishing up with the suit anyway.
And he'll finish, and he's going to...
We have always thought like one. Let's go have a little chat with Chai.
A chat with Chai. A Chai chat. Keep his suit where it is, and he's going to walk over with Finn just trailing right next to him on the ground, just scatterbug walking around. And you're going to see Javi just kind of run over. He doesn't walk. He runs everywhere he goes when he's not in his suit.
Right.
To keep up and run up to Chai and just like tug on her, like she have like a shirt, like a dress or something, like tug on whatever she's wearing to get her attention while she's cooking.
You feel a small tug on your arm.
I'm gonna turn around, and I'm actually gonna say this is the first time I'm seeing Javi without the suit, because I've been preoccupied since then. So I'm gonna like look up and then look down. Javi, hi! Wow, you're looking dashing this evening. Wow. Sorry, yes, what can I help you with?
I appreciate the compliments, but it would never work.
Son, you know the wide eye emoji? That's Chai right now.
Rejected without even trying.
He's gonna say,
Fiend has something to say, something to show you.
and he's gonna reach his arm down, and Finn's gonna crawl up and hand Finn off to Chai.
Finn, with two arms again behind his back, is going to present this little chef's hat made out of artificial kelp from Puddle's fishbowl and put it on his head and go. You hear from your waist belt,
Puddle. Puddle. Oh, Finn, have you ever had a bite to eat before? I can't imagine you need it with all your fancy gears and things.
There's absolutely no need to eat.
He starts pointing down at the art of you cooking.
I I would think you'd have a knack for this sort of thing, actually. Javi, honestly, you probably would too. People who are good at creating things and being all technical about it can be fantastic cooks. Do you mind if Finn helps me out a little bit with this dish?
Take him. We're all done with the suit anyway.
Well, these meatballs are going to be perfection.
That makes sense. I've been wondering why he's been running away from me this whole time. He's never done that before.
Well, don't get me wrong. He is all yours. I already got one of my own little critters with me, so I won't steal him from you. But if he wants to help me with some mixing and some spicing every so often, he's welcome.
That's good to know. Stay with Chai. I'll finish the suit on my own.
And he'll leave Finn with Chai and go back to tinkering on his suit and completing his repairs.
Finn will elatedly stay and help out with the seasonings and whatnot as you instruct. He'll try to follow your instructions. Javi, as you walk away, feel a little more complete. Let's join Talroth and Zell. So Talroth, you are watching over Zell. Talroth, go ahead and make me a snap judgment check, and that's your dexterity plus your investigation. Zell, I'm going to need you to make me a wisdom save.
13.
A 13. All right.
16.
With a 16, you are able to notice, Zell, as you pass this wisdom saving throw, you start entering into a meditative mindfulness with a trance as you are dissociating, looking at Ilaria. You are still awake. However, you are starting to get in your own mind, and as this is happening, the memory starts slowly warming back up, it seems, and starts to continue almost as if unsolidified from the trauma that was had from this memory, and you're able to continue on.
After letting him kind of adjust and think for a little while, I will approach him and just... How are you feeling?
It almost feels like you're lucid dreaming in the way that you feel like this is a dream, but you're still able to control your actions.
I'm not sure.
I think that's fair, given the circumstances. Do you miss her?
I think it's more that I'm concerned. I worry how things are playing out. How I've left them.
That is currently beyond your capacity. You have no way of reaching them, or them reaching you. There are rare circumstances in which the dead are able to return to life. But considering I do not know your full history, I cannot say whether or not that is possible for you or those you love. What I will say is that we are here now. I am here now to guide you. Chai and Javi are here to aid in your journey. We are here for you. I need to relay to you how dangerous your denial can end up being to those around you. These memories, while solid and unchanging, have the ability to be manipulated and cause dangerous consequences. If you continue to attempt to change them, I cannot guarantee what will happen to you, your son, your wife, or any of us. You may return to life, or you may wipe us from existence completely. Do you understand the gravity of our situation?
Thank you, Talroth, for being patient. I shall try. I won't. I don't know. I need to think.
I understand. We are here for you, should you choose to voice your thoughts. We are here to help. I, at least, am. It is my sworn duty, and I will uphold it to the best of my ability.
I will be sure to share my thoughts with you when they feel worth sharing.
Very well. Well, I've heard it said that thinking does no good on an empty stomach. I believe that chai is making us our first meal of the afterlife. An occurrence that I have never had before. So I would recommend taking part in it.
Zell, just like hearing that, allows him to breathe in the air around him consciously for like the first time in like a little bit, and gets like a good whiff of the fiery meatballs, which you'll see like color come back to his face for just a little bit, and the dull voice kind of fades for a little bit. Yes, perhaps we should partake in some of this immaculately made meal.
I'm sure chai would be flattered.
How is the food coming?
It's just about finished. How spicy do y'all like it? The spicier the fiery meatballs, the stronger your constitution. That's what they say.
Well, I could certainly use a kick right now.
I don't think I've eaten in years. So, any level should do.
Javi's a little bit of distance away working on his suit. You'll just hear all I did was create him. He just wants to hang out with anybody but me.
Oh, no.
I get him, a little old Javi.
I just imagine the three of us suddenly are tuning into your little self-talk.
Oh. Then Javi's going to look around and realize everybody's looking at him.
Is the food ready?
Yep, it's ready. And also, Finn was very helpful. Thank you for letting me borrow him.
Anytime.
One thing that I was going to ask when I was talking to you earlier was that if her cooking required a check to see if I could guide her.
Her cooking
as well.
does require. So you can provide guidance. Talroth comes over and looks over your shoulder, places a hand.
We are all depending on your meal. Do not fail us.
I feel very motivated right now. Thank you.
Talroth's proficiency is in intimidation, so...
Yeah.
No.
Perfect. Guidance by intimidation. That sounds like a real thing.
It's good. I like it.
So what kind of roll am I making? I don't think you said it. In the
Wisdom?
podcast.
So you're making a survival check plus your tool proficiency.
So
+2.
9. And that's a nat 20.
Nice.
Really?
Roll the d4 on top of it.
Yeah, roll a d4 on top of it.
Why not? 3 on top of that.
There you go.
So that's a 32.
Wow.
At
Okay.
level 4.
This is the best meatballs you've ever
had.
It's going to
Prime.
become a prime dish.
Oh yeah, so let me explain that really
Yes,
quick.
Go for it.
When I make dishes, it can be either select, choice, or prime depending on how I roll. And so they have different benefits depending on how well I make them. 20 or over is what equals a prime dish. So that means that the dish provides a +3 bonus to Constitution saving throws for 5 hours.
So I'm going to say a +6, and for the sake of a 32, for the next 24 hours, everyone has a +6 to Constitution saving throws.
Sweet.
Chai, this meal. Oh, I said it was going to be good after I smelled it, but this is incredible.
You are an indispensable member of this team,
Ah.
and all of you have assisted so much. I appreciate you helping me through this memory of mine.
Ah, Zal, you're warming my Firbolg heart. We adore you. We have a fantastic team of people here, and I'm convinced that we would have been friends in real life, every single one of you.
Javi will take his first bite, and you'll say,
Oh. Jai. I was having minor thoughts of hatred towards you. But now they are gone. You may have Finn every other weekend
Yeah, and you know
for the rest of your life. Or afterlife.
and you're welling
Tears.
with pride in the sense that Finn helped cook this dish.
I couldn't have done this without Finn. He added some ingredients in there from my bag that I never would have added to my fireball meatballs, so...
Literal tear. I need space.
and Javi will sit down and
Just
he needs to think.
As Zell, you're feeling very bolstered by this meal, and it's going to start to enliven your memory even more. Would you like to share the remainder of this memory with any of the party members, or is this something that you would rather keep to yourself?
Yeah, I think it kind of shifts the demeanor a little bit. It was quite a endearing moment coming up. Perhaps we should follow Zell to Delry's tent.
Yes, so as the memory starts to enliven and continue, the memory of Zell will stand in this shaken state as he was sitting with Ilaria, and he'll give Ilaria one final squeeze of adoration as you guys will start to notice two big things happen. After wishing Ilaria good night with a very shaky voice, this memory of Zell will hide behind the camp in a way that he knows that he'll be staying in the shadows that the night blindness of the fire will cast on the tents. And you see his demeanor as he is composing himself shift from sadness to a more solemn and somber look, and then finally a proud beaming face as he walks around the tent line to open the door to Delry's tent. Delry, it's time for bed. Memory Zell leans down as the young Delry stops massaging his feet by the fire and trots over to his tent. As Delry passes into the tent, Zell will softly tousle the top of his hair and say, I hope it feels well to have done well. And if there's a well, then there's a way. Take well, Delry. I'm so proud of you, my brave, adventurous boy. Good night, my good night. The memory of Zell gives Delry a soft forehead kiss and turns to face towards the fire, ready to take the first watch of the night. As you look at the memory of Zell beginning to watch the fire and beginning to watch over the camp and make sure that you are protected from sparkhoppers or whatever else this forest might bring, you notice Zell's hands shaking, still in fear, as the plastered smile will elude his face, as the day's events seem to still be replaying in his mind.
Zelbarath, is still just focused on the tent as his memory goes on to do the rest of it, and he'll... Good night, Delry. You have a lot to do in the next few years, and he'll turn back to go and rest. As we're walking back, almost mirroring, not to the same degree as the memory of Zell goes back and the plastered, confident face fades and his hand begins to shake as the night comes. Similarly, the warmth from the meal fades a little bit, and as we're walking back, I'm like, Javi, you're unwell. You're unwell and likely know much of being as such, do you think I am in denial?
I think you are Zell. And I think that's enough. Do you know what I mean?
I think so. I think what you've done, taking your weakness in combat of being smaller and being able to use it as an advantage to more easily fit within such a large and strong mechanism is ingenious. I'm glad you'll be here to help bolster our line.
With your shield and my armor. These ghosts better watch out. And their little zippers, you know.
Javi.
I don't even know.
Yes.
Is it?
Rest well.
I would try my best.
And Zelbrath will overall, just kind of held from the darkness by all the great interactions, will still separate himself from the group a little bit, return to the shadows as he rests and thinks.
So you guys are all able to go into your first trance. It is a little odd at first. Talroth is able to guide you through how to enter into this trance, and you are all able to trance, and everyone gains the benefits of a long rest and are able to change out spells or whatever else your classes wanted to do during that long rest. As you conclude this 4-hour trance, you all notice the coals of the fire pit have gone cold, and the sun has yet to rise in this memory, as it is still nighttime in this memory. Suddenly, through the trees, a lengthy Firbolg with moss-colored skin bursts through the foliage in a dead sprint. Snot and tears smattering his face. In his hands, shredded, vibrant ropes that used to make a collar weaved with mystical turquoise blues now lie in tatters. The arcane symbols of the awakened spell writhe in the moonlit shadows, and the twisted gold piece inscribed with 2 uppercase M's and a moose symbol clatters to the ground as Shrubby tears through the camp and cowers behind Zell. Oh, thank the Green Mother, somebody else is here. Did you get captured by the monster too? Have you seen a dog? He's about yay high. He goes by the name of Moosey Moose.
Does he seem to be talking to me?
Shrubby is directly looking at you.
You can see me.
Yeah, I can see you. You're like the only one around here.
Oh, but I have friends. Perhaps you... Look there.
It is I,
Do you see them?
Javi.
Shrubby, do you see me?
I don't...
That is okay. There is a lot going on here, but...
Are the voices in your head too?
It's complicated, but I hope to protect you. I fear that you may be the key to solving many of these problems. I shall guard you if you stay near.
Please, can you take me to Moosey Moose? They took him through one of those glowy door things that the Fae sent me. That's how we got here, but they took me through a different one. I need to get back to Moosey Moose.
So we can all see this though, right?
You can see
okay,
Shrubby. Shrubby, it appears, cannot see you.
Companions, I know we have been a little bit unsure about how to proceed, but I do still feel, well, even if it is not the correct path, that we must try it.
Or I'll never be able to let it go. And I'll make a glance at Talroth, specifically with the letting it go.
Nods.
Zale, we're in your memory. I feel like if anybody should be leading the way right now, it should be you. And clearly, Shrubby can only see you anyway. So, I'll go where you go.
I will go where Chai goes. And where you go. And where Talroth goes.
Thank you.
Chai, I appreciate you delegating authority to me. Implying that I see you as, like, a leader in the group. And look back to Shrubby and Big. I shall follow you. And so will my friends, though you may not see them.
Okay, I'm just happy to not be alone. And Shrubby will clutch tightly to the remains of Moosey Moose's collar in his hands, and he'll chant over and over again, Please take me to Moosey Moose. Take me to Moosey
I'm gonna. I don't know if I can make this, but like maybe a persuasion.
Roll me a intuition check.
Ooh.
Intuition is wisdom plus your persuasion.
So that'd be 21.
With a 21.
And I'll look and I'll be like, shrubbery. Shrubbery. The most dangerous thing that could happen right now is for you to lose your resolve. Harness yourself in your hopes and your dreams, and let's go.
Okay. Please, Green Mother. I want my best friend back. Tears from Shrubbery's face are going to fall onto this tattered rope that used to be Moosey Moose's collar. And all at once, a chaotic scene will materialize. A familiar arched doorway will appear between you and Shrubby as you find yourself gazing into a vibrant, albeit disorderly, goblin encampment. The air is filled with a clamor of frenzied activities, and the landscape is dotted with makeshift tents constructed from scavenged materials. These goblins are adorned with an eclectic array of mismatched armor that are scurrying in a spirited energy. Amidst this chaotic flurry, something captures your attention, Talroth, as you also appear into this portal. A raven, distinguished by its glossy jet black feathers, perched gracefully at the top of a 10-foot tall goblin encampment pole. You recognize the bird immediately as the bird you affectionately referred to as Jewel. The raven's keen eyes gaze with intelligence through this soul portal directly at you, Talroth, unmovingly.
I think Talroth subconsciously would just begin walking towards it. And I'm going to also say I'll grab half of the symbol that I have around my neck and hold on to it as I start going forward.
As you see Jewel, this raven, and clutch onto your pendant that you have around your neck, the pendant starts to thrum with energy, and you feel it start to warm in your hands, and you are dead and cold. So it feels that you are in the right direction with this. As you approach closer to Jewel, you notice that it's clutching a scroll within its talons. It unlatches its talons from the perch above. The scroll falls from the bird's grasp down to the ground below. Jewel gives a final and flies off into the sky.
Talroth is not a very intelligent person, so I think he's just going to start beelining it for whatever was dropped, and you'll just hear him say, "No, come back." He'll start running towards Jewel. I'm going to say he starts running in the direction Jewel flew off in before realizing it's a lost cause and focusing on the scroll next.
Yes, so you're able to trail Jewel for a moment, but another astral portal opens in the sky. Jewel flies through it, and it closes behind Jewel. And as you go and pick up this scroll that Jewel has dropped, you realize as you unfurl it, it's a note that is written. Actually, go ahead and make me a investigation or insight check.
14.
With a 14, as you look at this scroll, this is written in your own handwriting, Talroth. And in big scrawled letters on a piece of parchment says, "Don't ring the bell." The scroll is covered in bird footprints. And that's where we're going to end our episode for the night. My name is Cade, the host and Grin Reaper of this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure, and I am joined here by the players to my left.
Brooklyn playing Chai.
Alec playing Javi.
Mason playing Talroth.
And Danny playing Zelbarath Wilderton.
Thank you so much for listening. If you love this episode, go on over to patreon.com/knocked and consider subscribing for as little as $2 a month to get tons and tons of awesome benefits. Thank you to you guys for being such a great team and for creating this great storyline filled with awesome roleplay moments. We hope that you remember when life knocks you flat on your back, all you got to do is keep rolling, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your afterlife. Goodbye.